Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We are heading up to Scottsdale, Arizona from Tucson, Arizona for the Old Man Con. Well, the Scottsdale comic book show, but for those of us in the know, we call it the Old Man Con. And the reason we call it that is, it's a bunch of us old heads who have been in this hobby for quite a while that are just going strictly for comic books. This is unlike a normal comic book convention. This is strictly comic books, Silver Age, Modern, Golden Age, signed. And this year they are getting a few more comic book guests who are coming in to sign copies of the books and whatnot. But it's far from what you would consider to be a normal comic book convention, which I love and appreciate. Hence, I'm making the 100+ mile trek up there in the morning to go up there and check it out. And yes, I'm driving up the morning of, and originally I planned on going up the night before, having dinner with some friends, and maybe checking out some shops around town. But sometimes, you just gotta go have dinner with your wife. And it was well worth it, every bit. So now join us as we drive up there, and let's go check out the show. I have arrived in Scottsdale. Just got to the show and I get to do the VIP entrance. It's amazing the people you run into here. I'm gonna do a time-lapse video so you guys can see what it looks like inside and all the vendors that are available. Like I said on the way up, it is strictly a comic book show, so there's no cosplay or celebrity signings by like actors and all that good stuff. It's literally just old school comic books. So I'm gonna walk around and show you what's going on, and the drive up went smoother than I thought, because this is actually our first road trip in the new car. Because before I would just set kind of the self-driving and head my way up here. Now I actually had to sit there and steer the whole time, which was a difference from before. But the nice thing is, getting all the way up here, which is about 140 miles from where I live, was actually only a quarter tank of gas, but that was really cool. But I'll save all the video stuff about cars for another one. Right now we're gonna go look at comic books. So let's head in there, walk around, and say hello to everybody that we see. And the power just went out after like 5 minutes here.
My mom told me that would happen if I kept doing that.
I'm scared, Eric. I'm totally scared. I'm just glad there's tables blocking everybody from the good stuff.
Yeah.
That was petrifying. Comics After Dark. So shout out Jim Starlin for signing my books, but also shout out for not letting it slow him down. It's dark and he's still signing books. No. Seriously, been here for like 6 minutes and the power done went out. Right now I'm just getting my books put away. Let me show you what we got signed here. Mike and I were just talking, we love it, dude. It's business as usual. This is not slowing anybody down. People just got their lights out on their cameras, on their phones, just going to town and
real comic books.
Seeing what books are available. I love it. You said this happened at MegaCon?
MegaCon, yeah, just for a brief second, but still not, this is breaking a record now, so.
Yeah, and it's not like it's the electricity's out in the building. Like it's definitely like switches or a breaker somewhere because the electricity's still on out there. But this is wild. I actually really like this. This is fun. This is an experience. I'm gonna go get a blanket, put over my head and just read. There we go, lights back on and everyone's back to business. There was like a 10-minute outage, but that was fun. And ironically, Eric went to go get lights out of his truck, so he's going to be disappointed when he comes back. So full disclosure, I did buy a ticket for today's show, but since I have a lot of friends here who are vendors and I have a good relationship with most of the folks to help run this con, I didn't have to pay the entry fee, but I did pay the entry fee because I love supporting these type of shows and these local shows. But shout out to Eric over at Presidio for getting my badge, but a few people offered, which is always nice. So now, let's comic book. Man, there's anybody in this place. Janimal sighting. This is one of the hard parts / my favorite part about coming to these shows. I've been doing this for so long as a collector and as a comic book creator. I know a lot of the people here. So I haven't really looked at anything yet because every about 10 minutes I stop to have like a 20-minute conversation. So that's always the fun part. But now I'm really going to dive in and start looking at some books and, well, see what we can do. And I did see one book that's piqued my interest. I just don't know if the condition with the price, I don't know, I got to talk to him, but we'll get back to that later. But let's look at some books right now. There you go, some ones I've seen before over here at Terry's Old School Comics. You got the Batman #1. It is a purple label, so it's restored, but a 4.0, that is huge. And the 3.5, Amazing Fantasy. That's amazing. Point in case, came to look at comic books, and I run into this guy. Everybody, Shelby Robertson, if you remember him from one of our last videos. But yeah, I love these shows because there's so many great books, and you just run into everybody that works in the industry and that you're friends with, and it's also fellow comic book enthusiasts. Now I got to figure out how to tell my wife that our kids can't go to college. Ah, well.
School's overrated.
Over here at Mad Titan Comics, they have another book I'm possibly interested in. They got that Malibu Sun, the first appearance of Spawn. That's a book that holds a special place in my heart because Spawn was one of those books that really introduced me into comics as a kid. So that's one that's always been on my list. He's asking a very fair price for it, and it's a 9.2. So I'm keep that one in the back pocket. That's a possibility. And of course, we're up here. We always got to stop by our friend Bill's booth over here at Fantastic Worlds and see what they got. Always got the turtle stuff that I love to see, but they always got some of those great raw books too. So let's see what we're dealing with today. We were actually just talking about this. I've seen some grades all over the place for the Giant Size X-Men #1. Over here at Fantastic Worlds, they have a solid, they're saying 7.5, I'm saying 7.5 to 8, and they're asking 2,200. I've seen people with 2.5s asking right around 1,500 to 2,000. Shows you the despairing grades. So that's why it's important to know what you have and also to double check and, well, if you really want it, know what you're buying. I'll have to take a little break during the show. It's only about noon, but I'm hungry. Everyone at my friend's table and booth are hungry. So since I'm not here working, I'm gonna go pick up food for everybody because I'm a nice guy, don't forget it. But shout out to everybody watching the videos. I'm now up to 4 people that have come up to me and said, hey, I watch your videos. Thanks for coming. Thanks for doing what you do. And I really appreciate that. That means a lot. So I see people are actually watching these things I take the time to create. And this is definitely my demographic. People that love books with pictures in them. Just got back to the show with food for everybody, and guys, I think I drive a pretty decent car. You know, it's the nicest car I've ever owned. But going to the fashion square to pick this food up, I realized I drive a jalopy. My God, there were some amazing cars there. But let's get away their food. And I brought some gifts for some people, so I'm gonna go drop those off before I forget. Let's get back inside. He's only got a couple hours left. I just dropped off copies of my books here with Mike and over here with Bill at Fantastic Worlds, and well, it says Atomic, but you know, with Mike Malvey. It's kind of my way of saying we are officially creating books again. I am writing, the artists are working on stuff. I got sad not creating and producing and getting books out there again. So this is my way of dropping out with them, letting them know that I'm interested in getting back in the shops, being on the shelves, and hopefully you'll see something out here pretty soon. I'm almost done with one of the scripts and the other one is in the artist's hands. So now it's just up to getting it done. I found a lot of stuff for the show I've been wanting, but not a lot of stuff I'm willing to pull the trigger on. But these are some later issues of Mirage Turtles that I've been needing. And well, I just got cut a huge deal and I could not be happier with it. If you get a chance, check them out here. This is who I just bought it from. And I gotta say, I'm thoroughly happy with this purchase. I basically got all of them for what I think these two right here would be worth by themselves. So great deal. Now it's time to start heading out, but maybe 1 or 2 more triggers need to be pulled. Let's find out. Time to start heading out. I'm gonna make my rounds, see if there's any last minute purchases, say goodbye to old friends, say goodbye to new friends, and everyone in between. Good night, John Boy. Over here checking out the Samurai Comics booth with our good buddy like always. And every time I see him, he brings the heat that makes me question my life choices. If you don't know what this is, I suggest you look it up. But let's just say, this piece of paper that someone almost threw away will run you about $8,000. And if you guys are interested in buying something like this, I will give Samurai's information down below. I think that's gonna do it for me. Time to head out. I'll talk about some books I picked up a little bit later, but as of right now, it's about time to hit the road. I'm exhausted. Not for nothing, I'm sure he's exhausted too. And that's it, another show in the books. I am feeling it right now. I am so tired and I still gotta drive 140 miles back home. But we had some good pickups, made some new friends, ran into some new friends too, and this hat led to that, so thank you, brother. Since my brother got me this hat, it was a conversation starter with a lot of people from that area. Another show in the books. That was a lot of fun. They do a great job with this show every year. And they do it twice a year, actually, and I managed to make it to the last 3. So shout out to everybody that puts on the Scottsdale comic book show, aka the Old Man Con. I do love it. The tickets cost about $30 each for the early bird access, which is what I paid for it. I didn't pick up the books I thought I was going to come and find, but I did pick up some books, more so than I thought I was going to. In addition to the Jim Starlin sketch you saw earlier and the 2 books I brought with me to get signed, I also picked up a bunch of Ninja Turtles books I showed you earlier as well. I also bought another Superboy number 85, which is the first appearance of, well, look it up. Let's just say my namesake takes place in that book. And I also just picked up the first appearance of Adam Warlock, first appearance of Adam Warlock in his own title, I guess. And I had that one signed by Jim Starlin. I don't have those books with me to show you because, well, they got witnessed, so they're waiting to get slabbed and graded. Now, do I expect the highest grades on them? Well, no. But I do want to preserve them because they are books that might have value one day. I mean, they have value. They could have more value one day. So all in all, it was a great show. I love coming up here. I plan on coming up again. And the coolest part about all this, I alluded to earlier, is so many of you. I had now, by the end of the show, 5 total people come up to me and shake the hand, say, I watch your videos. Hey, I commented on your videos. And, oh, you're the guy that did this and everything. Like, that made me feel kind of good. This is definitely my community and the people that I strive to appeal to with my content. So next convention we have coming up will be Tucson Comic-Con. I don't know how much I will be filming there technically, because I might be there actually like working, but we'll see. Until next time, guys, I got a long trip ahead of me. Go read a comic book, support a local artist, support a local friend. Just read, have a good time. Until next time, take another ride again soon. Bye-bye, everybody.